Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
Peace, family. This is your sister with the curly braids, Vicki Dillard, here for African Diaspora News Channel. Be sure to give the broadcast a big thumbs up and share. That makes it more likely that other people will know that we're here, because we know that a lot of times this network, my videos on this network don't always give notifications. So, family, be sure to check intentionally daily for my broadcast here. Be sure to check under different sections of the videos, okay? And share, and support me and the colleagues here. Thank you so much, family. Now, some of you may have heard that the United States Secretary of State, very high-level top U.S. diplomat, made a recent trip to China. But before going to China, he and some of the other officials were already signaling disrespect and threatenings to China before his arrival. Well, I'll get into that just briefly on the other side of this video, but I want you to watch this clip of China's President Xi Jinping waiting to meet U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, and you will see here how Antony Blinken intentionally had him waiting. Watch this.
Good afternoon. 主席好，很高兴见到你。
Did you hear what President Xi Jinping said? He wanted to know from his staff, when does Antony Blinken, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, leave? When they told him, he was happy. He was like, good. Family, whenever we're dealing with matters of statecraft, and just to be clear, a simple definition of statecraft is basically the management of state affairs. It's about statesmanship, right? It's about one's, ability to handle governmental affairs, geopolitically, internationally. And that's an art, yes? And there are multiple gestures that are included in such engagement. It's not always fiscal talk. It's not always things that are happening in one's government. It's not always things hardcore necessarily. Of course, it includes diplomatic talks, of course. But there are other gestures that one engages in when you're dealing with other nations. So to be able to do that well can often determine whether or not you enter into favorable agreements and relationships with the world. Well, Antony Blinken has totally failed. Now, he intentionally showed up late there, just for the record. Now, if you don't know, the Chinese government sent basically, a single low-level Chinese official to greet U.S. Secretary Antony Blinken on the tarmac. Now, there were other folks from the embassy, my understanding, that was there, but for the most part, that's what you got. And so, in retaliation, it seems this is why Antony Blinken, before his official meeting with the president, showed up late. That is highly disrespectful. Now, I want to say to my family here in the United States, the reason why I believe it's important for us to be engaged in international affairs, and to at least, it doesn't matter if we understand all of the ins and outs, but to start to pay attention to what's going on in our world, because number one, they're using our taxpayer dollars. They're doing stuff in our name. Now, how many of us know, would the average American know, that the United States is showing her behind in other countries and showing up late? But before she gets to the country, she and her officials issues threats to that country before they come. Talk black to me, somebody. Now, as is reported in this piece by Julian Borger, It talks about Anthony Blinken has landed in China amid a worsening rift between the world's two most powerful countries that threatens to overshadow otherwise improving relations. The U.S. Secretary of State arrives with a warning. Did you hear that? The U.S. Secretary of State arrives with a warning. This was known before he got there. That the U.S. and its European allies are no longer prepared to tolerate China's sale of weapon components and dual-use products to Russia, which are helping Vladimir Putin rebuild and modernize his arms factories, enabling him to intensify his onslaught in Ukraine. You can't tell another country what to do. How are you going to run around telling another country what to do, America, when you fund and provide weapons, all sorts of authoritarian and autocratic and dictatorial regimes and governments? How in the world can you sit there and tell anybody anything when you are being accused of genocide all over the place? This is outrageous. At Woodside, it says, the president also agreed to take action to curb the flow of precursors and equipment used in the making of fentanyl in Latin America, which is causing rising deaths among young Americans, it says. On his 3-day visit, Blinken will first stop in Shanghai on his way to Beijing to speak to students and attend a basketball game, the sort of popular diplomacy that would have been unthinkable a year ago. I'm going to skip down. However, when Blinken reaches Beijing for a meeting with his counterpart, Wang Yi, on Friday, expected to last 6 hours, most likely with President Xi, too, the mood could cool with discussions about China's sale of dual-use products to Russia on the agenda. U.S. sanctions against Chinese companies involved are also looming over the week's visits. So the United States is making all kinds of threats to China, telling her they're going to sanction her further, telling her what to do in terms of her engagement with other nations. America, how do you think this is going to work? These are the people that say they represent us, family. We are not down with this kind of engagement. This is bullying. And you are making Americans, her troops, and our position in the world further, you're putting us in more danger and making us even more vulnerable. I just wanted you to see that footage because I want to let you all know what your government is doing in your name. And I want you to keep in mind how other governments are receiving it. When he arrived, it was basically one low-level Chinese official. There were some other folks around, but they appeared to be mostly embassy staff. And watch this. When he left, not one Chinese official. The janitor didn't come. The landscaper didn't come. No disrespect to any of those positions. But you understand what I'm saying. This is America's doing. And this is why she is obsessed with BRICS. She's obsessed with the happenings in other international blocs that don't include the United States or Western allies and the so-called global North. But America, if you want to change your engagement and engage in fair dealing, then you're going to get this and worse. And you are expediting your demise unnecessarily. My name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. Be sure to join my spiritual mastermind school at VickiPlanet.com. Go to my website there to check out the details. It's very affordable. It will absolutely change your life and give you unfair advantages in every area of life if you dedicate the sufficient time for this transformation. Family, you don't want to miss it. It's written that my people perish for lack of knowledge. So if you have the right knowledge, you're able to succeed. Go to VickiPlanet.com. That's VICKI Planet.com. And of course, share this broadcast. I can't wait to see you again.